Alrighty, welcome to the very first episode of Vinyl Archive Series. And I'm actually redoing this episode. I did have this uploaded on YouTube, but I took it down. So in this episode, I'm sorry there's not going to be no music playing in the background because for some reason when I go to mix it down, the music overpowers when I'm trying to talk. So you know what? It is what it is. I wish I had Sony Vegas Pro to work with. But anyways, let's get on to this very first episode, man. Yeah. So the idea behind this episode is, or this series, I should say, is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through my vinyls, pick out each one and talk about them in various episodes, And right now, I'm going to do Uriah Heep's debut album, the self-titled album, which came out in June of 1970 on Vertigo. In the UK known as Very Umble, and here in the US on Mercury Records, known as the self-titled. Both have different album covers. I don't have the UK version. I wish I did. The track listing's a bit different too. Yeah. Let's just get right into it. So yes, this vinyl right here is what we're going to be talking about. Sorry about the glare there. Yes, came out in June of 1970 on Mercury Records here in the States. As you can see, it's a gatefold. Yeah. See if I can get that blue light out of there. But yeah, that's pretty much what it looks like. Yeah. So this came out, this would be on Braun's Records too. I mean, it's produced by Jerry Braun, who would produce a lot of Uriah Heep's 70s albums. Pretty much every single one, except for High and Mighty, I believe. But anyways, yes. Now, yeah, this record, I'm going to show you the record now. And this has to be an original pressing, because I got a advertisement from Mercury Records in here. And I apologize for that train in the background if it's picking up. I do live near train tracks. But yeah. Trying to pull out the record here. That's what the record looks like. As you can see. Yeah. Now, the roots of Uriah Heep come from the bands The Gods and Spice, yes, which is where Ken Hensley came from, and I believe Mixed Box came from Spice also, and David Byron, yes, I'm sorry about that, and Paul Newton, I believe too, the bassist. And Lee Kerslake came from the Gods, who would later become the drummer of Uriah Heep, but is not featured on this debut album. So, we're going to get into the lineup. David Byron, lead vocals. Ken Hensley, organ, slide guitar, mellotron, piano, and vocals. Mick Box, lead guitars, acoustic guitars, and vocals. Paul Newton, bass guitars, and vocals. And let's see here. Keith Baker, drums and percussion on Bird of Prey. Yes. And we got Ole Olsen on drums and percussion on selective tracks. And Alex Napier on drums also. So you have like 3 different drummers on this freaking album. Now, I'm going to get into this record here more about Birds of Prey, because Birds of Prey is not on the UK version. On the UK version, they have a track called Lucy Blues, which I believe is an old cover. Yeah, so that replaces Bird of Prey on the UK version, excuse me there. Track-wise, you got the awesome, heavy Gypsy, written by Mick Box and David Byron. Walking in Your Shadows by Paul Newton and David Byron. you know, has a good Deep Purple type of vibe to it on that track. I mean, you know, Ken Hensley, that electric Hammond organ going on there. You know, especially on the opening track, Gypsy. Gypsy is freaking heavy for 1970, man. Come Away Melinda, which is a cover. And, man, David Byron's vocals really sound different on this track, on this cover. At least I think it's David Byron singing on Come Away Melinda. Then to end off the first half, you got the heavy, almost proto-speed metal like Bird of Prey, written by David Byron. And interesting fact too about this too. Now, Freddie Mercury of Queen was actually influenced by David Byron, and you can definitely see on a track like Bird of Prey why. Because David Byron does some really awesome operatic vocals on this track. Yeah, just amazing stuff. Okay, then we go to the second side, and we got Dream Mare, written by Paul Newman. Pretty cool, heavy track. You know, with a bit of a blues undertone to it, you know. But yeah, I really enjoy that track. Real Turned On, Mick Box, David Byron, and Paul Newton also wrote that. Now, I believe some of these songs were performed when they were still under the name Spice in 1969. Yeah, but anyways. So we got I'll Keep On Trying, Mick Box, David Byron. What a killer track, man. What a killer track, man. Now, this track definitely has a strong Deep Purple vibe to it. Really awesome Hammond organ going on. Just a really good track, man. Then we end the album with Wake Up, Set Your Sights, written by Mick Box and David Byron, and this track is very different. Very jazz influenced, you know. It definitely has like a jazz fusion feel to it. You know, if I were to describe it that way, and yeah. Now, Uriah Heep would get called a poor man's Deep Purple. However, I digress, and I totally disagree with that. Uriah Heep, to me, was a very important part of the 70s, you know, and the proto-metal scene is, you know, in my opinion. I mean, to me, they're very underrated. I mean, yeah, they didn't become as big as Zeppelin and Sabbath and Deep Purple, but to me, they're just as important because they were one of the first bands a part of that scene. But anyway, yeah. So, yeah, that's my little discussion on this debut album by Uriah Heep. Hope you guys enjoyed. And yes, stay tuned for some more on Metal Band's Chronicles and Album Archives series. Alright, peace out, guys.